Motorcycle content, and let's get this first ride started.
This is the Lightning LS218, and it holds the land speed record for the world's fastest production bike at 218 miles an hour, which is about 350 kilometers an hour. It's got a lithium battery, a liquid-cooled 3. What's more, it's got no traction control or wheelie control, which seems like absolute lunacy. But since it's got no clutch or gearbox, it's locked in a single high gear that goes all the way up to 350 k's an hour. So that kind of speeds is really easy, with one notable exception, which we'll get to in a minute. The throttle Mind you, at this point I still hadn't made it all the way to full throttle yet, so we took the LS218 up to the Skyline Road so I could let her.
We're just smoking. corner after this video if you're interested. Part 2 is supposed to be a similar format, but I decided to focus on just one vehicle, the crazy, outrageous, and powerful Dodge Tomahawk motorcycle with the Viper V10 engine. So yeah, as I was making this video, I got really interested in learning all about the Tomahawk, and I decided Dodge Tomahawk was a non-street legal concept vehicle introduced by Dodge at the 2003 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, with Chrysler going off of the map and sticking a V10 into a motorcycle, although experts did argue over whether this is a true motorcycle. The motorcycle idea started with two lower-level Chrysler Group employees, Bob Schrader, who was a design office modeler and a motorcycle rider, and Dave Chitz, a vehicle builder and drag racer. So they got together and asked the question, what if we had a Viper engine and Champion chassis? The traditional one wheel would look too thin and not proportionate to the massive engine in the middle. After that, Chrysler staff designer Mark Walters took over. He argued that the two-wheel design might turn off real biker and motorcycle enthusiasts, but the uniqueness won and he went to work on the concept. In the spring of 2002, Walters had drawn a massive sketch on a 20-foot wall and had a Viper engine resting on wheels as a visual aid. Walters presented everything to Chrysler Group's COO Wolfgang Bernard and COO Dieter Zeitze, and they immediately approved, so the Tomahawk was in business. So those walkable recirculating hydraulic parking stand, so the bike can stand on its own. The engine was put as low to the ground as possible, creating a very low center of gravity for better control at higher speeds. There were a few downsides to the suspension setup, like a very small lock-to-lock steering range with the handlebars, with only about 18 degrees per side. So that means a very large turning radius, where sharp turns are physically before a swing arm would hit the ground. But in reality and during testing, it was proved that there were actually huge stability issues, with testers claiming that it, quote, rides like two. Actually been working on different variations that had 2 or 3 wheels instead of 4, and wider handlebars for more control, and that was probably required for street legality. As for what the bike rides on, the tires are custom-made Dunlops, P120 60/20 fronts, and P150 50/20 rears. The wheels are billet aluminum discs, 20x4 inch up front and 20x5 in the rear. Finally, the brakes are also 20 inches, with drilled machines to the bike for top speed, then 250 miles per hour would be in reach. It's also worth noting that the curb weight is just 1,500 pounds, are definitely a bit far-fetched, and it would seem like they based their top speed estimate on just the horsepower and final drive ratio, but ignored other critical factors like frontal area, drag coefficient, and rolling resistance. So we can't trust Dodge.